real fast and frantic start from this Liverpool team and really would put this Real Madrid team under pressure. But they seem like a team that never really genuinely believed before a ball was even kicked that they could win this. It was a flat performance in the main. And you expect in a situation like this, I kept saying, go out on your sword. You go out all guns blazing, and they didn't do that. But again, it might be a little bit where they're thinking handbrake on a little bit because we want to make sure we keep ourselves in the frame for going into Champions League football in the Premier League. And if we lose this by a big margin on the night, could it affect us going into the weekend for or into the next phase of the Premier League game? So a lot to going into this game in their minds, but I think they'll be disappointed to come out of a game when you don't give it everything.
Yeah.
That's not a nice
I don't think they're allowed to, Rui. I don't think Real Madrid allowed them to really impose themselves on the game. I thought Real Madrid controlled it. From the moment they went ahead at Anfield, it felt like today they just controlled the tempo of the game. And I thought that was the issue before the game. I thought they might do that with the three in midfield and top quality players and not being able to get close to them.
All right. Well, it feels like we've got so much to talk about. Where this leaves Liverpool, how much of a rebuild...
Replenish the squad.
How much of a replenishment then is required for this squad?
The difference is, I think that they've bought players in the last couple of windows. They've bought players, Gakpo, Diaz, to name two, Jota. Yeah. They're players that aren't coming in to start immediately.
Of course, you'd love to have, but I don't think they'll ever do that. I think they always had players on the rise and players that, that Salah and Mane, Firmino situation, no one was after them. No one. It wasn't well touted. I mean, no one was willing to pay that big money for them.
What impact does this form have on, let's say you're Jude Bellingham, for example, right? Hypothetically, he's watching Liverpool and that's an option for him. Does he make the decision based on what they've done before, or does he make the decision based on what he's seen in the last 6 months?
Well, that's the worry, That's the worry at the moment, is that, you're hanging your hat on maybe one or two additions to freshen it all up, let's say. But the worry is that if Liverpool don't get in the Champions League, then it's not as an exciting proposition. If they don't get in the Champions League, they probably won't have the money to go and do it. We all know that Liverpool isn't awash with money. So, I know there's a kitty there probably to go for a Bellingham for 100 million, maybe a little bit more, let's say. But if they don't get in the Champions League, then it's going to put a little bit more pressure on the purse strings. I don't believe that it's right to just go and buy a load of players. As I say, this team have proven...
What would you go and get then? A couple of midfielders? Is that what...
I would try to... I'd burst the bank for Bellingham, and I fear that will be about it. I mean, there may be other players that come in.
I don't agree, Mo. Sorry, I don't. I just think that's all right doing that and building players that are going to come in and that they're going to push a team on a little bit here and there on your way up. When you get to the top, Man City ain't going out and buying a little squad filler. They're buying Haaland.
No, and Liverpool will go and buy Bellingham.
But they haven't done that yet.
No, but
they've not proven they can do that.
They've got a history of doing that. They went and got Van Dijk when they needed a centre-half. Get the best in the world.
That's the way on the way up. We're talking in recent seasons, the last couple of seasons now, few windows we've seen. They haven't bought players that come in and change the first 11.
Yeah, but you find them. You find who's better than Mo Salah and Mane? Who's better than Mane?
No,
Liverpool had an aging attack.
That's a different thing.
They had three players with 30 odd.
Midfield we're talking about is an area where everyone in the Liverpool fan base is saying that's an area we need for the last 2 years.
And do you think Jurgen Klopp's stupid?
No, I don't.
He's going to absolutely do that. If there was a transfer window now, he'd be going, let me do it. He's desperate to do it.
They haven't got the money of Man City, have they? They've got the money, but what they've been able to do is compete at the level of Man City with nowhere near the finances, and that's
I know, and I commend that, and I say well done, and hats off for that. But we're talking about from this moment now, where it seems like people are asking, is this cycle over? And you say, well, how do they stay at this level, the level they were so consistent for the last couple of years? Are they going to go and buy squad fillers like they're doing? Because that doesn't seem to be working.
I don't think they are doing that. I mean, the recent players they've bought. They've had three players that are approaching 30. Mane, Firmino. Everybody can see it's coming. Jurgen Klopp can see it's coming. It's right. Okay, before it hits us square in the face, we've got to start bringing some youngsters in. So they've kept Salah. Mane was going to go anyway. He wanted to go the year before. Liverpool did really well to keep him an extra year. So he was going anyway. Firmino's now going in the summer. And they've, in Jota, in Diaz, in Nunez, they've actually refreshed that part of the pitch. So that's for the future. That's hopefully now signed off. Right, for the next 6-7 years, that part's
The important word's future. We're here talking about now.
Absolutely. And the now is the next transfer. You can't get Bellingham at Christmas, Rio. You know that.
No, I'm not. But the window before, I'm talking even in the summer's just gone. Like you think like, you're going to get a player that's going to come in and go, right, take on the mantle, either in midfield or even forward, wherever it is. There's got to be sometimes a signature player
Absolutely.
that you go.
But they wanted Bellingham. They wanted Bellingham, but Man City bought Haaland. So Dortmund were never ever going to let Liverpool buy Bellingham.
There's a world of players. There's a massive world of
but
players.
Then you're dropping down to players that you don't. That you want Bellingham. So and he kept his powder dry. He thought, right, no, I'll wait a year and I'll just get him next summer.
If Liverpool get Bellingham, they're like Stevie, yourselves have had to have run the channel to get him. Swam the channel to get this guy.
But well, you don't think that can happen?
I just think that even if he watches that tonight, he's sitting there thinking, if Real Madrid are in for me and Liverpool, there's only one place I can go. And they don't finish Champions League as well, maybe. As a player, I just think nothing to do with my allegiances to United or Liverpool. I just think as a player, you look at it cold and you go, I see more trophies here.
That might be the case.
I don't disagree with that either. I don't disagree with it. You know, if you're Jude Bellingham and you're sitting at home, you've got the pick of the host of clubs, and you know, a Liverpool in transition at the moment might not be the right option for him.
All right, interesting stuff. Listen, if you're listening to this debate and you're thinking, I want to get involved in it, then we would love you to. We're live till 11:30 this evening. Use the hashtag UCL tonight. We're going to be live for the next hour and a little bit. So make sure you're joining the conversation. Whether you're a Liverpool fan, whoever you're supporting in the quarterfinals of the Champions League this season, we want to hear from you. And after the break, we want to hear from him. Jurgen Klopp will be speaking to us and sharing his thoughts about defeat in Madrid, and a big defeat over 2 legs. See you shortly. As you can see, pretty even in terms of possession and chances. The only stat that really matters, though, is the scoreline. And as we see, Rio, Liverpool now have 45 minutes to score at least 3 goals.
They've done it before. I'm not confident in them doing it today. I think I'd be surprised if Real Madrid don't score, and then the tie's obviously definitely over. But Liverpool have given it a good go in this first half. Attacking-wise, they've created a few opportunities. But Real Madrid have had Vinicius Junior has been a thorn in the Liverpool side, but I think Liverpool coming into this game thinking they'd have got a chance like this so early in the game, they'd have bit your hand off for that, and you'd expect maybe a more clinical finish, guys, eh?
Yeah, for the first part of the first half, I thought, Real Madrid are going to score here. But the longer the game's gone on, the more Liverpool have come into it. I do think that they're looking a little bit empty in midfield in terms of, there's only Milner and Fabinho in there. And I just think, they're having to go wide to create these chances. Maybe, long diagonals from Van Dijk and things like that. Like to see an extra body really in midfield. It feels like they're getting outnumbered in there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a perfect example of it, really. Obviously, Trent being sloppy, and they're creating chances. And Madrid, you feel, will score if they keep slicing Liverpool open like they have done. Although Liverpool have had chances, you feel like Madrid's going to score. And this is what we touched on before the game. Vinicius and Benzema in that left-hand channel. So dangerous, and obviously created again down that side. It was a great ball from Vinicius, and for once Benzema's touch just lets him down there.
Yeah, Vinicius has been, I think, we mentioned him before, we highlighted him. He just looks like this level is just made for him. This is a ridiculous save. But he's been the one that they look to for me to open up his Liverpool team. And Camavinga, this is a phenomenal strike, and again, wow,
a bit too much room really on the edge of the box there.
Yeah.
It's the same with Modric here. I think with having those two in, they drop deep and heads it out, and it's a great chance of Modric.
Yeah. At what point does Jurgen Klopp just say, go for it? If you concede a couple of goals, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think he will be saying that. You've got nothing to lose. You'd rather go out on your sword. In a situation, you got to go for it. If you lose 2-0 on the day and it becomes the situation where you're out, that's part and parcel. You've got to go for it. Don't leave this stadium where we could have done more.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, Steve McManaman made the point before the game, didn't he, that there's no panic. You don't have to score 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. But now, all of a sudden, it's 0-0. Now you start having to turn the screw, I think, and maybe start chancing.
Didn't leave himself open and vulnerable at that point.
Yeah. The issue, exactly that. The issue is when they start throwing men forward towards the end of the game, you feel like
you've got to get a goal. Well, we've got to get 3 goals. So let's see what happens. Make sure.
That was a tough night. Couldn't find a way through. It must have been very frustrating watching from the touchline.
Yeah, look, it's the being 5-2 down is obviously not a great result. If you want to go through, you need to have a really special performance, and we couldn't put a special performance on the pitch tonight. It was in moments an open game, I would say, but Madrid had a better chances. Ali had to make 2 sensational saves. Wow. In the end, the goal is a scrappy one, but that's obviously not decisive anymore. So the right team went through. That's what we have to admit. And Madrid controlled the game. We gave them the opportunity to control it. So, yeah, knockout stages are like this. There are probably 500,000 different ways to go out. This was ours tonight. It's not what we wanted, but it's what we got. Yeah, and now we have to carry on.
They made it very difficult for you to sustain any kind of pressure, but did you want more spark, some fire and brimstone?
Of course, but what you need, that's what you need in a game like this. So you need moments. You need moments. Like how the first half was, if we would score in one situation that could give the extra spark, but it's hypothetical. We will not know. The game we saw tonight was Madrid was the better team and won the game. I think in 3 halves of the 2 games, they were the better team, and that's how you go through to the next round.
Damage was done essentially in the second half at Anfield, isn't it really?
But with
The damage was done essentially at Anfield in the second half, so chasing the game all the time.
Yeah. So that obviously, but now, to be honest, if we draw at home and play the game we played tonight, then we go out probably as well. So you cannot come here and hope that you get something. Like I said, we prepared for a special performance, but we were not able to put it on the pitch tonight, and that's what we have to. It was obvious. I think nobody thinks now how could Liverpool go out. So, and that's probably the best sign that the right team went through, and that's how it is in.
Position maintenant. Alors que se passe-t-il? Le buteur Hakim Ziyech est resté au sol.